I'd like to ask my daughter, Katie, to come on up here with me. Katie, would you come up, please? My sister, Katie. We'd like to thank everyone for supporting this event that's put on by the Colorado Spartans. Tom, you and your team have done an exceptional job this year. We thought last year the bar was pretty high. This year you've exceeded that and then some. What a terrific job. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's truly an honor to be here, and we are so fortunate to be joined by friends and family from out of state, some of Michael's friends from high school, from elementary school actually, families of teammates of Mike's, and children of those people. So we thank you so much for being here. I know it was an expense to get here, but we are grateful to have you, so thank you for making the trip. We founded the Michael Sadler Foundation shortly after Mike died, and the foundation has grown exponentially as we continue to try and inspire and motivate people like Mike did. Part of that growth is fueled by traditional means, and part of that growth is fueled by non-traditional means. And to the latter point, tonight you may have had a chance to enjoy Hey Diddle Diddle, and if you haven't, it's over there, compliments of Jagged Brewery. And that's a beer made by a company that is really house divided as we know it, right? It's owned by Spartan and it's owned by Wolverine. Yes, right there. And Jagged Mountain's brewmaster, Adam Glaser, he took a blank canvas a year ago for this inaugural event, and he, with passion, created a beer in tribute to Mike that is called Hey Diddle Diddle. And those of you that would remember back to the 2013 season that led to the Rose Bowl, the 100th Rose Bowl victory, know that when we played Iowa, Mike was called to run a fake, and he gained 25 yards. He was very proud of that, running back. So Coach D had named that play Hey Diddle Diddle, send Sadler up the middle. And so when we were introduced to Jagged Mountain by Mark Porteous, who is here tonight. Where are you, Mark? Yeah. So he made that connection, and Jagged Mountain and Adam Glaser in particular went to all lengths to do something, to create something really meaningful in Mike's honor. And they did just that with Hey Diddle Diddle. And when that was introduced last year at this event, it was clamored for by all sorts of breweries back in Michigan. We settled on one, Atwater Brewery, that is in collaboration now with Jagged Mountain. And that beer, Hey Diddle Diddle, is now found on the shelves of Meijer, D&W, Forest Hill Foods, and I can't tell you, the supply cannot meet the demand. And it all comes right back here to Colorado and to Jagged Mountain Brewery. So hands up, give them a round of applause, please, because they created something amazing. So for this year's Colorado Spartan Social, Jagged Mountain wanted to do something additional to Hey Diddle Diddle. And they wanted to collaborate with Mike's teammates and Mike's friends to come up with something that was truly unique to Mike. And they did. They truly did. And if you've seen the stickers, you know what I'm getting at. So I can't do the story justice because it was truly a collaboration between Adam Glaser and RJ Banat and the friends and teammates that will come up here shortly on the stage to tell you how this beer was created and inspired. But we are so honored And if you know the bet that Mike had with Pat Narduzzi when he went on spring break in 2012, you would understand that of everything that's happened, this is one that he would be most proud of. He is still getting mileage out of that Speedo, and I'm hoping to see it on the shelves of Meyer as well, because that would be really cool. So I'd like to, with honor, introduce RJ Banat and Adam Glaser to give you the process of how this all happened before you are able to enjoy it in a few minutes.
And I think Karen took all my time that I was going to explain about Hey Diddle Diddle, but I think it's important to note that with Atwater Brewing here in Michigan, they've brewed, it's over 20 times the amount of beer that we've brewed in Colorado. So it's really cool, it's amazing, it's something that we wouldn't have the capacity to do. And so it's just kind of a tribute that, again, like you said, the supply can't meet the demand. And you know, with this project, and Adam promised he wasn't going to make half the people cry that he did last year. So he's going to do a better job of that. But on that note, I think that Karen touched on, you know, last year Adam and I and Jagged, we made the beer based on kind of the access we had to Mike and the stories we heard from Karen and Katie and everyone else. And so this year we wanted to do it a little bit different. And so instead of beautiful roses and, you know, number 3, we've got Speedos and banana hammocks. And so this is what you get. I don't know if you have anything to say before everyone.
Yeah, well, I'll chime in real fast. So last year's beer was definitely a kind of a really special thing, and I really like to look at this as being a transformational thing. That last year I was learning about Mike Sadler and the Sadler Foundation and everything that he impacted in his life, and it is so profound. And so it was kind of a part of me reflecting on him and in a way sort of grieving at the same time. And this year is definitely much more about just celebrating the heck out of the guy and just having a lot of fun with him and really letting Mike, who he really was and is, come out. And so that's why we wanted to do this, is not a reflection of what I wanted. I wanted to hear from all of his friends and teammates and really get some really fun stuff going on. So we had this crazy phone call, and I think we were on the phone for almost 2 hours. And just reliving Mike and a bunch of his stories. And so I guess with that, before we go any further, I'll spill the beans on what's in the beer, and then we'll get the guys on stage here. And these guys, this is none of my idea. I did not come up with one bit of this. I just had to put it into beer reality. So it's a Belgian triple ale, and you're going to find out why it's a Belgian triple. It has about 60 pounds of bananas in it. It has 40 pounds of orange in it. And it has 100 pounds of Hostess mini donuts. I told you I did it. It's not me.
You should have heard the ideas that didn't make it.
There were a few. So without any further ado, let's start getting some people up here. We had a wonderful host of guys on the call, and it was so much fun.
And maybe just everyone come up, and I want like Mark, Katie, you're already out, but everyone who's been involved over the past 2 years, come on up.
We're gonna just kind of goof off for a little bit. So we got Travis Jackson, Connor Kruse, Ian Jester, Marcus Rush, Connor Cook,
and Jack Allen and Max Bull were on the call. They're not here today.
And Geoff LaPorte, and yeah, that's everybody. Thank you. It's one of us. Oh, we got two?
Got two.
Sweet. So we all got on this phone call together, and I basically just tried to turn it over to to all the folks to just kind of
Let's
start shooting around.
distance and all.
Yeah. So go on down the line here.
Hey, I'm Connor Kruse. Connor Cook.
Travis Jackson.
Geoff LaPorte.
Ian Jester. Marcus Rush.
And I don't know out of this group how many are craft beer drinkers. You don't have to not raise your hands in shame, but I think part of the interesting deal about this was, last year we kind of made this beer and it was, high-fiving each other. It was really cool. But this year, introducing a whole host of other people. You get people, some people don't drink craft beer, some do. You were wondering kind of how it's possible to translate stories and memories into a beer. And I don't know if you guys have anything to say about your doubts on or questions on how it was possible, but it was kind of an interesting conversation early on to kind of say, hey, Adam's brewed a beer with seaweed and kelp, and it's not disgusting. And if you can make a beer with that, the sky's the limit. And so again, I think early on it was, we kind of had to validate the fact that we can do a lot of pretty cool things. And as Adam mentioned, with the donuts and the oranges and bananas, that's kind of the way it came into place. But with that being said, I don't know if we want to.
So RJ, I feel like there are three really important things that you said there. This beer has bananas in it, it has Hostess powdered donuts in it, and it has oranges in it. So I feel like it'd be really fun if we had the guys kind of go through their experiences with those three things with Mike in particular, and what in particular made them want to put those three items in the beer. And then I also have a couple of unique perspectives on those as his sister, seeing the great beer label. Which is always fun. So I know a couple of these guys have some funny stories. I'm gonna pass it off to Geoff to start to talk a little bit about Hostess donuts and how those made it into the beer.
Yeah, so I had the awesome opportunity to live with Mike for 3 years during college. Had a lot of time learning his habits. He had some weird eating habits. I mean, he'd eat out all the time. For some reason, he liked the weird paper bag Hostess donuts. He'd bring it in every morning. He'd always have it on the weekends, and I always crush them because after a few beers at night, next thing you wake up in the morning, it's like, what do I have to fill me up? And I just look over to the counter, and there'd be some the white label Hostess donuts over there, and that was it. So kind of when we were going through the discovery phase, kind of working on a vision for this beer, I was thinking about the weird things I might like to have, like to eat, and I thought about those beautiful mornings in East Lansing and how I'd like to crush some Hostess donuts after a nice Saturday game.
Thank you, Geoff. I'd love to turn it to one of the football guys to talk about this Narduzzi challenge that was stated with the football team. So whoever wants to tell it best.
Cool. Yeah, so Mike had a way of cracking people up that usually don't crack up. As you guys have probably watched, Coach Narduzzi, pretty intense guy. And Mike kind of had this way of humanizing him, which was awesome. Kind of had like a soft spot for Mike, which was really cool. I've heard Coach Narduzzi call every player every name in the book, but somehow Mike slipped by the way, which is awesome. But I remember we had a team meeting, and we came down, and Coach Narduzzi was all fired up, and all the coaches were laughing, and Mike had worn a Speedo, I believe it was on spring break, and did a whole photo shoot. It's like all over Google. It's like incredible, and that's the label. I don't know if the label. We're all wearing the stickers, but he came in and plastered the Speedo pictures all over the football building and targeted Coach Narduzzi's office. And I remember they came down and they put it up on the big screen of Mike in his Speedo. And it was really cool because Coach Narduzzi is super intense. He comes into meetings, he's all business, and he's cracking up laughing. And it was just so Mike to kind of see how he can make someone like that kind of humanize him and kind of bring in those softer sides in him. And I think the label, I saw it, I texted RJ right away. I was like, this is incredible. He would have loved this. He would have been so proud of this. So special. He had such a way of making people laugh if you followed him on Twitter, but it was so calculated. He loved to push the line, but always toted the good side of it, which was really cool.
So Travis, I feel like everybody just got the really great story from what the whole world saw. Now I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an inside scoop. I had to take all of those pictures, and as his sister, that puts me in a very precarious position. So we're all on spring break, and he says, you know, Coach Narduzzi said he really didn't want to see anybody in a Speedo over spring break, so of course I brought my Speedo. And I'm like, oh goodness, where is this gonna go? And so he's like, I'm gonna go put my Speedo on, I'll meet you on the beach in 15 minutes. And as a sister, again, this is just an everyday event. So it's not
sisterly duties.
It's not that abnormal at this point.
Comes with the job description.
So we're out there on the beach, and everyone's looking at us a little odd because you have me taking pictures of him posing, frolicking through the water. And then he says, you know, there's only one thing that can make this better, and it would be if I did my punting pose in my Speedo. And I'm like, Mike, what does this mean, your punting pose? And he says, well, I'm gonna do a full kick. I'm like, oh, no, you're not. What am I supposed to do with this? He says, all right, so just point the camera at me and just keep your hand on the trigger and just turn away. So at this point, we're on the beach, and my hand's on the trigger. I'm like, tell me when to go. And I'm looking away because a lot goes into bringing all those funny moments, and somehow I became the unofficial photographer of the Mike Sadler Twitter account. So a little insight into the life of the siblings that you get to see.
And I do want to put a quick shout out to Chad Brett, our general manager, and he did the artwork and had the distinct honor of having to go into Photoshop and very carefully in very high detail go through a picture of Mike Sadler and very carefully cut out that entire outline and do all the fancy work that goes into that.
We told Chad, just do a filter. He's like, I want to hand draw everything.
So to Chad for the artwork, because that was a serious feat of, I'm not really sure what. What do you want to say? Tell us. All right, so we got on the conference call. We're all together. Travis was there, Connor Kruse, Geoff, everyone. So basically, we got on a conference call. Everyone wanted to know, just tell a story about Sadler. And my story that always comes up to me, that is always like special. I mean, I don't even know if it's incorporated with the beer, but I just remember Sadler said, "Come over, dude." I was like, "All right." For what? You don't invite me anywhere. You're the punter of the team. I'm like, all right, dude. Everything all right? Just come on over. All right. It's like, all right. Do you know anyone that owns a truck? Well, Max Bulla does. I don't. I drive my mom's car still. Travis doesn't have a back seat. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's bottles everywhere in the back of his car. But he said, "Come on over, dude." I was like, "All right." You're making me nervous because you're not like this. He's like, "Come on over, dude. I just ordered something online." I was like, "Okay. What'd you order online?" He's like, "I got a kegerator." I was like, "What is that?" And this is his new spot in Michigan State, the best actually the best spot. You guys remember above Hop Smith? Hop Cat. I can't. Hop Cat. So it's a new brewery that just opened up, and these apartments are the best in East Lansing. It overlooks downtown. It is unbelievable. He's like, all right, come on over and get in the kegerator. We're getting a truck so we can get a keg. All right. I'll be over, bud. It's like, I was like, what kind of beer are you looking for? He's like, I think I want Blue Moon. I was like, I love Blue Moon. I love Blue Moon. And so we ended up going to the, what's the, no, it's not really. Big Tent Party Store, yeah. So he's like, dude, I'm gonna actually need you to just lift this keg for me. That's why I invited you. Because my biceps are so large. And I was like, oh, all right, got you, bro. As long as I can have a beer. So, no, we went to the liquor store, got a keg, and that was probably one of the coolest moments because I was like, dude, no one does this. No one sits in your apartment and thinks to order a kegerator offline. Like, I don't even know what a kegerator is. Like, I didn't know you could put a keg in a refrigerator and then close it and keep it cold right by your couch and play video games all at the same time. It's like, dude, that is the baddest ass thing I've ever seen. So that's my story.
All right.
Well,
Basic.
So that did make the beer. So that is the blood orange.
Oh wait. I made sure this beer. I talked to Travis just like 10 seconds ago. I said, all right, it's a little strong. I made sure because Sadler always loved partying. We actually, Connor Kruse, Travis, I don't think Cook was there yet, but we were in Case Hall, and we had some nights there, like freshman year was unreal. We would get so many beers. We were all underage.
All right, Rush.
Come on, dude. All right, this is Connor Kruse.
Since everyone told their stories that are like somewhat like PG-13, every memory that I have with Mike is X-rated, so I really can't share with you guys. But first of all, before I tell my story, everyone give Jake Horch a round of applause in the back. Finally showed up. Finally came here. And it was almost 8 o'clock. It's not? Yeah, whatever. Anyways, the story that I have is how my idea didn't make the cut. But, so anyways, we were on our 2-hour-long conference call, and I'll flash back to a year ago when I was at the Grand Rapids fundraiser, and we all went back to Mike's house after, and it was my first time going there. I don't know if you guys have been there before, but it was me, Jack Allen, Tabor Pepper, who else was there? Kyler was there. Were you there? Were you at Mike's? Okay, never mind. So anyways, we all went out to Mike's house after. We stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we just like, shot the shit, excuse my French, and basically just drank beer all night, and then towards the end of the night, Karen made these killer burritos, like amazing. Like, we're talking about like, you go to a 5-star gourmet Mexican restaurant, and there's melted cheese on it, there's the enchilada sauce on it, like amazing. Like the best burrito that I've ever had. And she's like, I would always make this for Mike growing up, in high school, when he'd come back home from college, it was his favorite snack. So fast forward to our 2-hour, maybe 3 or 4 hour long conference call we had. That maybe was a little bit too long. I don't think it was. And we're talking about ideas. I'm like, oh, well, when I was over Mike's house last year, we had these, amazing burritos. Oh, well, why don't we incorporate it with a Mexican spice or like a jalapeno? And then everyone was just like, no. So that was the idea that I know you guys mentioned early on. You were like, hey, there were some ideas that didn't make the cut. That idea didn't make the cut, but I love spicy stuff, and I thought maybe Sadler had a spicy personality, and we can incorporate that into the beer. But obviously, it wasn't good enough, and now we have the banana hammock, which is amazing, and I cannot wait to try it.
And I think the whole process and the thing, the way that we handled it, the ideas that we came up with, the ideas that you came up with, is really going to be great for all of us once we actually try it and enjoy it. So cheers to Mike, and go green. Thanks, guys.
For you, I'll do a aged banana hammock. Oh yeah, if anybody hasn't gone and grabbed a glass of this beer, it's on tap. It's ready to go.
It's your turn.
Kruse, yes. So
Tell him.
yeah, so this guy just got married.
Fantastic.
So congratulations on being married.
Thank you very much.
And then
Do you guys want me to tell you the registry? No? Okay, it's all right. It's all right.
And I had the distinct pleasure of having Connor into the brewery to help brew the beer, and so we want to relay a little bit of what it's like to put 100 pounds of donuts into a beer.
Well, I ate half of them. Yeah, we had a lot of donuts. I ate a lot of them because they're donuts. So. No, but it was actually really cool. When it comes to me and Mike and our story, is like we lived together freshman year. Pretty much every story I have with Mike is just inappropriate, and I can't tell you guys. I'm sorry about that. It's just, and on my part too. It's both sides. It's terrible. Being on a conference call with all these guys and hearing everything that they had to say, and how much they love Mike, and every little detail they could possibly figure out to talk about a beer, because how do you take somebody's life and put it into a beer? It's not very easy. I had a very hard time. Travis made fun of me on the phone because he played cricket noises. Oh, that was Marcus. Never mind. Sorry, Trav. Marcus, you're the worst. But I had the ability to go down when they were throwing the donuts into, I don't even know what to call it, the mash.
Tun. Yeah, into the mash.
Into the mash.
So mixed over with hot water.
That's pretty close. But, and we just started throwing donuts in. It was actually really cool. Like when you think of a beer, you think of maybe banana, maybe some oranges. I know you guys have done waffle before, and kale. I don't know what you guys are doing later.
Sushi, green seaweed.
See, you know what I mean? But then a donut into the beer. I mean, Mike was a skinny little punter. It's like you were talking my language that day. But that was great. I got to throw a bunch of donuts into the mash and mix it up with you guys. And I had no idea the process of how to make a beer, but you guys were teaching me a little bit, and I was stirring some donuts into the mix, and I just felt honored to be a part of that, and just the whole time thinking about Mike the entire time, and how much he would love to be able to make beer in that capacity, because he did those microbrews at a very low level. But I mean, even though you guys are still considered microbrew, right? I mean, that was a lot of donuts. There's a lot of donuts. So just being a part of that was fantastic for me. I had the ability to do that living here in Colorado. And I'm glad I came down for that. And I loved every second of it. So thank you.
All right, so the culmination of this collaboration is Sadler's Banana Hammock. It is on the tap now if you want to try it. It is a very high alcohol content, so we caution you to drink small amounts, especially if you're driving. But what a great effort. And I will tell you that all of the beer served here tonight, the Hey Diddle Diddle and the Sadler's Banana Hammock, is donated by Jagged Mountain Brewery. So not only are they giving, but they continue to give.
Give a round of applause to Karen Sadler and Katie Sadler, please.
And I'm not sure Karen shared the story yet, but so when you heard the name Sadler's Banana Hammock, you just thought it was like a tropical name.
I had no idea.
Now she knows, and it's too late.
That's how my kids got away with so much. Thank you so much, Jagged Mountain.